Hey everyone, it's John Tai here again from Hatch Duo. We're here again today to continue our journey for the 24 Principles of Aesthetics for Industrial Design. And I have a little surprise for you here today. I have the official poster that you all can order. This one's going up in our office. We know many of you have already ordered it and put it up either in your classroom studios or your office studios. So thank you for all your support on that. And yeah, let's get right into it. This is the 13th principle. Harmonize textures and patterns. So patterns and textures being cohesive to your product really help harmonize the overall form language and visual language of your product experience. So keeping textures and patterns uniform, keeping them similar, and probably minimizing the different types of textures and patterns across the product will help not only streamline and make the product more cohesive, it'll also, help to maybe highlight different areas of user interaction as well. This is the 14th principle. Speak the product's function visually. That really means form follows function, showing affordances. If something is meant to be pressed, maybe make an indent slightly for that button so it should be pressed. If something's to be, moved to the side or a slider, make that button look as though it should be slided to side. Examples of this are really around interfaces, right? Physical interfaces. So, even without labels, you can tell a button is supposed to be pressed or slid just according to its shape and form. So a button that's supposed to be pressed, maybe it's a little bit raised or it's concave, and, a slider button like your iPhone lock button, it's a push to slide. The form kind of looks that way. So it's telling you visually that's supposed to be used in that manner. This is the 15th principle. Control visual weight. That means you can control the thickness or thinness of a product to help imbue a sense of elegance. So for instance, an example would be the way in which you make a side profile of a consumer electronic product look very thin, whether that's, rounding the bottom edge to just make it look very thin in terms of positive and negative space, that can help it look very elegant and thin. Or conversely, making a product, visually heavy makes it look robust. The thickness of it makes it look sturdy. This is the 16th principle. Keep labels and graphics to a minimum. The more visual icons and graphics you add onto a product, the more visual clutter there will be. So if you want it to feel more elegant and aesthetically pleasing, try to limit the amount of labeling you put on the product. The intent is to integrate icons or text so they don't disrupt the aesthetic flow of a product. This is principle number 17. Limit the clash of patterns and colors. What you really want to do is use accent colors or accent patterns sparingly. You don't want it to overwhelm the entire product visual experience. You want it to just enhance. So I have a rule about 5 to 10% for pop color, as well as any kind of third read texture or pattern. This is the 18th principle. Consider context and environment. So with a product, you want to consider where it lives. Is it in the home, in the office, outside? Understanding those colors, textures, and finishes of that environment will help inform how the CMF of the product should be as well. So for instance, an outdoor product will feel like an outdoor product if it has the tones and colors of the outdoors, versus something in the home where you're thinking about furniture, textile, etc. That'll feel like something that is belongs in the home. This is principle 19. Plan for aging and wear. Now this is something that's, case by case basis more applicable depending on what type of product you're doing. But for instance, if you're doing leather goods or, some kind of wearable, think of the patina, right? Think of how a material wears. Does it get more beautiful over time? Is that vintage look valuable? If so, choose materials according to that. This is principle 20. Create a timeless look. This is super important. Instead of following fleeting trends of crazy forms, really try to stick to simple geometric shapes. You're not going to lose with, cubic shapes, spheres, pill shapes, things that are very easy for the eye to understand. That creates a timeless look over time. You'll notice if you look back in history all the way to now, the forms that are pretty iconic to us are the ones that are very simple to understand. This is principle number 21. Use Gestalt principles to help create proximity, flow, and closure for your product experience. So for instance, proximity. Maybe you can group certain types of elements together, like if it's all buttons and interaction, group all of those together. If it's for flow, maybe keep, visual elements clean so that it does not disrupt the flow of the entire surface of the product if you're looking at it visually. And then, for closure, it's maybe block off parts of the product for certain areas. Like if there's screens, if there's interaction areas, block those off accordingly. So using visual cues and visual relationships to help a first-time user understand what is going on in the product, that's key. This is principle number 22. Accent key interaction points. So key areas where you want the user to press or to interact with an area of the product, highlight it with a pop color, highlight it with a texture. An example would be if you notice certain products will have, a highlight ring or a LED ring around the power button. Or maybe for a power tool, for a drill, the button to activate the drill has a texture. This is principle number 23. Integrate branding subtly. This is one of my favorite and easiest ones for everyone to apply. Just do not make the logo bigger, right? Avoid slapping on branding as a huge sticker. Really find a proper graphic place for it and keep it to a minimum. Everyone's gonna know it's your brand anyway. If you notice all of Dieter-Ram's, well-designed products, like Braun, right? If you look at Braun's a perfect example where the branding of Braun, the word mark is, pretty minimal, right? It's not just slapped on there like this big, billboard. And that's what helps makes the aesthetics of the product clean. This is the 24th principle. Refine edge details and transitions. Really take care into how part lines, fillets, chamfers all interact with each other on the product. Every little micro treatment of those surfaces and how they work with each other visually really conveys a sense of premium quality for a product. An example would just be Apple, right? If you look at how tight their tolerances are, how they control their fillets, how they control their corners and transitions, that's all done with a lot of care, which signals premium quality. All right, that's it, everyone. Thank you all for joining. That was the part 2 of the 24 principles of aesthetics for industrial design. Really glad you guys could all join us for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel down below. We have more fun videos like this for you. We love talking design. We love talking creativity, AI, design, all of that, you name it. So please subscribe, leave a comment, tell us your thoughts about this. And if you haven't already, feel free to visit our Shopify site and get yourselves one of these. All right, everyone. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Let's hatch awesome.